This is Hofstra's Campus Conversations, the official podcast of Hofstra University's leadership team, focusing on issues of importance to Hofstra and higher education. Now welcome today's host, Hofstra President Susan Poser.
Hello, and welcome to Hofstra's Campus Conversation. Today, we're spotlighting one of the most exciting new programs at Hofstra University, the Hofstra LA Semester, an immersive semester-long opportunity for students to live, learn, and work in the entertainment capital of the world. My guests today are two of the visionaries behind this program, Mark Lukasiewicz, Dean of the Lawrence Herbert School of Communication, and Adria Marlowe, Associate Dean and longtime architect of the original Hofstra in LA program. Mark and Adria, welcome.
Thank you.
So, Mark, let's start with you. The LA semester is brand new, but it has roots in a beloved program. Can you tell us a little bit about how this has evolved?
The Hofstra in LA program was a short-term 10-day program that happened usually during the January intersession, and Dean Marlowe will tell you more about that in a second. And that went on for a number of years, but from the moment I got here 7 years ago, it was clear that both the students and the faculty, all of us wanted to turn this into something bigger, so that students really had an immersive experience, less like a visit to a city and visiting newsrooms and studios, and really an immersive experience where you get a feel for the industry and the culture of this entertainment center. Because really New York and LA are the two entertainment and media capitals of the country and of the world. We would have gotten to it earlier, honestly, but for COVID. COVID interrupted that progress, but we were able to keep the short-term program going all the way through COVID. Then, Adria helped us bring it to life this year as a full semester program.
Adria, you were there at the very beginning. Yes. What inspired the original program, and how did you help bring this into its now current, much longer version?
The original idea was to connect students with a very strong and supportive network of Hofstra alumni in Los Angeles. Our first trip was in 2015, which I led with Professor Peter Gershon, and that trip was only 5 days long. Eventually, we built the program up to a 10-day experience. It was an intense pace, an amazing opportunity for the students, but a whirlwind. We always knew in the early planning stages of the January trip that eventually we wanted this to become a full semester, with the 16 weeks allowing the students to be able to really settle in, build professional relationships, develop professionally, and explore LA, learn about the culture and the place.
So it sounds like the program, now that it's finally underway, is very timely and important for our students. So tell us a little bit more about that and why this is so important for this particular group of students at the Herbert School.
Right outside the studio, we have a poster on the wall that says, "Great stories happen to those who tell them." This school is a school of storytelling in all the different disciplines we have here, film and streaming and journalism and PR and audio podcasting like we're doing now. It's all storytelling. There are two centers of that in this country, New York and Los Angeles, and we have those great relationships in both places, but we've never been able to deliver to our students in a meaningful way what the Los Angeles experience is all about. And as this industry changes so rapidly, it's growing. There's more content being more consumed on more platforms by more people than ever in human history. Mm-hmm. But the industry that produces that, how that work gets done, is changing incredibly rapidly. And so to let our students be exposed to that in Los Angeles is just a wonderful opportunity. I was just meeting Adria and I, Dean Marlowe and I were both in Los Angeles last week visiting our students, as were you.
I was there too.
A terrific experience. And one of our alums I was meeting with, who's a very successful entrepreneur in the media space in LA, who has pivoted to social media and YouTube creators, who are really an extraordinary industry that literally didn't exist when this program, the 10-day program, was launched a decade ago. So all of that change and letting our students see all of that is just terrific for their careers.
One thing that you implied but didn't explicitly say, and either you, Mark, or Adria can just say a little more about it, there's New York and there's LA, and you explained why LA is so important. Can you talk for just a minute about our connections here in New York? Because you're taking that for granted, but our audience may not realize that we've been doing forever, and it's very successful. So just give us a minute or two on what that is.
Well, why don't you start, Adrian? I'll pick up.
Sure. In terms of where alumni land after graduation, New York is first. Most of our alumni stay here in New York. That's always been a great opportunity for alumni to come back to campus and meet with students and for internship opportunities. One of the things that our students get to do is intern year-round in New York City because of our proximity. A lot of alumni now have connections both in LA and New York. It's a small industry when you think about it. It's very interconnected. So I've had students who have gone out to participate in the LA program and then get from that internship opportunities in New York. So it's really showing that there's differences, but they are very connected.
Very connected. And what kinds of places are our students getting those experiences here in New York?
It's hard to limit it. Major public relations agencies, Weber Shandwick, Edelman, agencies here on the island, almost every news organization and television network in Manhattan, we have students either interning or working or both. And this speaks to the advantage of this campus's proximity to New York City. Students can intern year-round. We had a student who interned at Saturday Night Live. There isn't a summer internship at Saturday Night Live because Saturday Night Live doesn't produce during the summer. That student went on from their internship at Saturday Night Live in the fall to intern at John Oliver at HBO Max in the spring. Again, not produced in the summer. There are also different characters of what happens in these two cities. The film industry is huge in both. It's more of an independent film vibe in New York City. Los Angeles has a lot of the franchise, big studio productions, more virtual productions. So students can tailor their interest depending on which place they go. Journalism exists in both. We have a prominent alum in LA who is working for ESPN in sports media, one of our big areas here. And one of the LA students this year is doing a very significant internship at KABC, which is the leading television station in Los Angeles. By the way, that came about because our partner here in New York is ABC7. Their Long Island bureau is just a few steps down the hall here
In our
Herbert
building.
Hall, in our building.
Yeah.
And those journalists are here every day mentoring our students and working with us.
Do you want to say something else?
I
Go
would
ahead,
also just
Adria.
add to that in terms of screenwriting. There's a lot of opportunities out in LA, and that's sort of a big hub out there. And in terms of development, it's another big hub out in Los Angeles, and that's something that the students are learning a lot about out there.
Yeah. Well, I was out there at the same week that you were and went to an event where I got to meet the students. I don't know that I've ever seen happier Hofstra students anywhere, and they all seem pretty happy around here too, but they were giddy. They were just having an incredible semester out there. And
Yeah, they're having a great time.
it was really amazing. They did arrive during a pretty dramatic moment. We think back to when they went out there in January and the wildfires were raging across parts of Los Angeles itself just before the students left, and there was a little question whether we were going to be able to actually do this year. So how do we deal with that, Adria?
We were monitoring the situation very closely. We were working closely with our partners in Emerson. We're part of now a consortium of other schools in LA who run programs out there. They were all monitoring everything that was going on. You know, as always, safety is a top priority for us. So we really were, up till the last minute, really considering the safety of our students. Fortunately, everything was coming under control by the time that the students arrived. It started raining the day after we arrived, which was wonderful to see.
They should have gone earlier to bring the rain.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know.
it really
But,
was.
all of those experiences, just like with COVID, just with, anything else, it really gives the students a sense of the region's realities and challenges that the entertainment industry faces out in LA.
Yeah. It reminds me, you have another former student, an alum, who's now down in Tulsa working at the NPR station. And I happen to know his father, who's very active at Hofstra as a donor and he's very engaged with us. He sent me a picture of his son taking a picture of fires that were going on down there, and he was very close to that fire. And the way his father put it, who I'm sure was quite nervous about it, said, it just shows his passion for his work as a journalist,
Right.
that he was doing that. So he also got a taste of that. Now, you mentioned Emerson. What does Emerson College have to do with this?
During the January program, our students had started to stay at Emerson for that short amount of time. And so we now have a partnership with Emerson's college, their LA campus, where students are living there and taking classes there. It's a secure academic environment, and it's right in the heart of Hollywood. So couldn't be a more perfect location. The students are taking Hofstra courses in Emerson's building. Those courses are focused on a variety of entertainment industry topics. And then the students are also interning 3 days a week, working alongside and learning from professionals in television, film production, publicity, broadcast journalism, screenwriting, as I mentioned, and a variety of other disciplines. Emerson's location makes that very easy for the students, and it also allows us, Kristen Carter, who's the site director, and I, to plan a variety of networking events where we're bringing in alumni to Emerson College, where we've organized field trips and cultural and social activities for the students. It's made a lot easier by being right in the heart of Hollywood.
We've been working with Emerson for a number of years, and they have a beautiful campus on Sunset Boulevard. We discovered along the way that the man who runs the facility for them is a Hofstra dad. His son is a student here at Hofstra in political science, and so that relationship deepened. And it's just been tremendous. Not only do our students have an on-site dedicated classroom, our faculty members there have an office to work in. Because of this consortium that Adria mentioned, all of the students have access to all of the events that occur on the Emerson campus, and the Emerson students have access to the events we stage and many other programs around town. So it really builds a great network for the students of their peers who are also in Los Angeles studying from different institutions.
And they get a full credit. So in other words, they don't get behind by doing this program.
We are housed at Emerson College's LA campus. But the courses are Hofstra courses. They're courses that our faculty designed. We've hired the faculty, adjunct faculty who teach there. We are not sending students to somebody else's program. It's our program.
Right, yes. And I got to meet some of those faculty, too, and they were also equally excited about the quality of our students, as I could tell the quality of their instruction. So the person sort of who's leading this on the ground, right, is Kristen Carter.
Correct.
And so tell us a little bit about her. I've heard she's a real powerhouse.
She really is. In addition to being a proud Herbert School alum, class of 2006, Kristen is an award-winning executive producer, a showrunner, filmmaker, entrepreneur, and a natural mentor. She has led educational workshops, produced shows for PBS, Discovery Plus, and HBO Max, among others, and she's brought a real structure and inspiration to the program. And for the LA students, she's a teacher. She's their site director. She organizes events. And she's really just been an incredible asset.
Yeah, she's terrific. I mean, I think all of us in different ways have been involved in launching new projects and new programs. And that's difficult enough, let alone thousands of miles removed from home campus, let alone while a natural disaster is occurring 20 miles away. Yeah. And Kristen was incredibly resilient and calm and strong and has become, as Adria said, a real leader to the students, a mentor and an advisor, and has helped create a culture around that cohort of students that's just been awesome to see.
Yeah, well, it sounds like the students are really making the most of this opportunity. So what kind of advice did you give them, before they took off to help them get settled and be able to seize all of these opportunities that were waiting for them in LA?
What's really important for the students and what I emphasized is that they have to set their own personal goals, whether that is participating in this program to discover new career possibilities or find professional mentors or build relationships or even producing their own projects. We have a group of students who are actually on their way to Altadena today with one of the professors to do a documentary about a nonprofit and how the fires impacted that nonprofit. So it really was all about seizing opportunities and being open to things and being very proactive.
Yeah, and I think as do almost all study away and study abroad programs, which is why we love them, really builds a new level of confidence and independence in these students. Because for some of them, it's their first time in Los Angeles. For some of them, it's their first time really, really away from family and having to navigate a new system. There isn't a subway stop or a Long Island Railroad next door. It's a little more interesting to get around Los Angeles.
Yeah, indeed.
The climate is different. I think all of that independence and learning through these events how to network and how to really show themselves in the best light and the most of the opportunities they have.
I also encourage the students, and this has been the case throughout all 10 years and then now with the semester, because it is an interdisciplinary program where we have students from all of our majors, film, PR, TV, journalism, audio, radio. I encourage them to lean on each other because they will be each other's networks when they graduate.
Yes.
And so that's something that's always been very rewarding about this program is that they meet people who they might not have necessarily been able to meet here in the school. They form bonds, they do projects together, and they become close.
And they learn that media comes in all different forms and they interact out there in the world, and
Yes.
they're learning how to do that. So
Yes.
in fact, this fits in very nicely with our strategic plan, right?
100%.
And was one of the foundational things, just even the 10-day program
Yes.
that shows that we're building on our strengths by
Yes.
emphasizing interdisciplinary programs going
Absolutely.
forward. So speaking of going forward, if you could think forward 5-10 years from now, what would you want this to look like? Where do you want to be sitting with this LA program in the
Well, I
future?
hope we will be looking back in a few years at a program that started with 16 Herbert School students and became something, orders of magnitude bigger with participants from other parts of the university. Take that interdisciplinary piece, and let's fold in political science students, and let's fold in music students, and music business students, and business students, and really build it out that way with the other schools. I think we've kind of cracked the code a little bit on how to make this work. We've learned a lot this first year about ways to improve and grow. And that's what I'd like to see it become something that students walk in the door here expecting they'll have the opportunity to do and they'll want to do during their college career.
Wow.
I don't know about
I
you,
can
Adria.
imagine lots of students being interested in
Right.
that.
We're finding that students are coming in now as first-year students and coming to the general information sessions. And they're saying to me, they're not applying this year, but they want to know what they can do to prepare to apply
Yes.
in their junior and senior years. So students are coming in ready and knowing about the program.
What do you tell them? I mean, maybe we give some listener a hint here.
I do tell them that it's important to be involved here at the school. That's something that we look at, whether it's with student media organizations here in the Herbert School or with other campus activities, to make connections with their professors, because part of the application process is eye contact to faculty references. So we want to see that, students are interested in learning about a lot of different things, but that they're also going to be engaged and take full advantage of the opportunity.
Yeah. Well, I have to say this month there would be no better place to be than LA. Long Island was pretty cold and rainy.
It's true.
So I think you're going to have a lot of customers.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, anyway, this is an extraordinary step forward for Hofstra and for our students. So Mark and Adria, thank you both for sharing this with us today and for your vision and your leadership. I can't wait to hear what this first cohort accomplishes when they get back, and hopefully they're going to share their experiences widely. And to our listeners, thank you for joining us. If you'd like to learn more about the Hofstra LA Semester, please visit hofstra.edu/communication, and we will see you soon.
If you have questions, comments, or topic ideas for Hofstra's Campus Conversations, please email podcast@hofstra.edu. Hofstra University has produced and provides this podcast for general information only. It is created in collaboration with WRHU Studios.